With nominal and ordinal scales, there is a straightforward distribution. With interval or ratio scales, the distribution is described in terms of central tendency, including the mode, the one that occurs most often, the median in the middle, and the average. Variability, the range, which is the spread from the lowest to highest. The smaller the range, the less variability there is. The standard deviation, the amount of dispersion of the scores. A small standard deviation indicates the scores in the distribution do not spread out from the mean very much. The group is relatively homogeneous. A large standard deviation indicates the opposite. The semi-interquartile range. It is used if the values of the distribution are not symmetrically arranged around the central tendency. It indicates the half range of the middle 50% of the scores in the distribution. Skewness is a lack of symmetry in the distribution, and the kurtosis is the general form of concentrations of the scores around the central distribution. Figure A is a negatively skewed. Figure B is a normal curve, and figure C is a positively skewed curve. The normal curve model and the normal distribution. It shows the concentration of values in the middle of the distribution, with fewer and fewer values as the extremes approach. 2/3 of all cases fall within plus or minus 1 standard deviation of the mean. 95% of the scores fall within 2 standard deviations of the mean. A z-score. A z-score, aka a standard score, indicates how many standard deviations an element is from a mean. To find the z-score of a sample, you will need to find the mean, the variance, and the standard deviation of the sample. To calculate the z-score, you'll need to find the difference between a value in the sample and a mean, and divide it by the standard deviation. Why the z-score? It allows you to compare apples and bananas. It allows you to find out whether you are as good a student in CSD 4990 as you are in CSD 1750. It allows me to curve the exam. It allows us to detect what percentage of people fall below a given score. How to compare apples and oranges. For example, we can compare the progress made by a TLD versus an SLI, or individuals with Down syndrome, using a z-score. Again, the normal distribution curve. And the proportion within each sector for the normal distribution curve with the z-scores below.